I want to do all of these things at once, but I've learned become a master of one thing and then move on. Because if you're spinning all of these wheels at the same time, like, you're not going to be great at any of them. You'll be like okay at all of them, but you're not going to be great at any of them.
Hi everyone, welcome back to another riveting episode of BINDLISM, a philosophy to a self-sufficient lifestyle. This is Kyle Fisk, and today we're meeting up with Missy Schlegel, also known as Missie. She's a jack of all health and wellness trades and founder of Movement Love. With her certifications in yoga, massage, and occupational therapy, she rejuvenates the mind, body, and spirit of people in her local community. Missie is a wealth of knowledge in many facets of philosophy, human anatomy, and psychology, and provides us with insight into these subjects beautifully in our talk today. Through years of developing her skills, experience, and wisdom, she has created a life for herself that provides a sense of meaning and purpose in healing and enhancing the lives of many human beings. We are beyond excited to share this podcast with all of you, so without further hesitation, we welcome you all into the mind of Missy Schlegel. We're here today at Syracuse Co-works with Missie, also known as
Movement Love.
Your real name is
Melissa.
Melissa,
yeah.
Okay. And I was on your Facebook. I was trying to pronounce your last name, but
Okay, Missy Schlegel is my real name.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. And if you'd like to start off, you can introduce yourself.
So my name is Melissa. Mostly everyone calls me Missie. I'm a massage therapist and an occupational therapist, and I teach yoga, and that's how I met Kyle, and I own a business called Movement Love.
And what's this business all about?
So my business is basically a massage therapy business that I also have some one-on-one yoga clients that we do some movement therapy, so basically, I do a lot of myofascial release with people that either have chronic pain or are like CrossFit athletes or any athlete or any type of person that has any kind of issue.
Okay. Myofascia?
So your fascial system is this other system in your body. So we have a musculoskeletal system, we have a nervous system, we have a lymphatic system, we have a fascial system. So our fascia encases everything. So myofascial release, so muscular and fascial release together. So it's just like a slower...
It's a type of tissue in the
kind
body?
of body work, yeah. Yep, so your fascia encases everything.
I've heard of fasciitis.
Yeah, so plantar fasciitis is like an inflammation of the tendons and the connective tissue in your feet. It can start in your calf. A lot of runners will experience that. But your fascia is this system that encases literally everything. And for years and years, we've like kind of thrown it away from dissections. Like we didn't think it was anything important because it was just like this light kind of tissue. It's like if you eat chicken and sometimes there's that like weird kind of like thin white layer of like...
Oh, right.
Very
you have
thin.
the crispy skin.
Yeah.
You peel that off and then there's this film.
Yeah, this like film. Yes, that's a good way to put it. So that is fascia, and it's like this system that if you remove everything else and you just have the fascial system, it looks the same. So like it encases muscles, nerves, like individual muscle fibers. Yeah, it's really cool stuff.
If you take out everything else,
Like your body would look the same. Like nerves, muscles, bones, your fascial system, because it's an encasing of everything.
Oh, so it's like a mold.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah. So it's like super cool. And it can get bound up. So, the fascial system is like a sweater that's knit. Like if you start to pull one part of the sweater, the whole sweater is affected.
Threaded.
Like, or if you poke one part of a balloon, the rest of the balloon expands. That's how your fascial system is. So if you have like something tight in your hip, your left hip, it could affect your right shoulder.
Because that tug is pulling on. The whole system,
yes, is connected. So it's really cool stuff.
What got you into it?
Okay, so that's kind of where all of this begins.
Before the yoga and massage therapy?
Yeah, well, it all kind of happened at the same time. I was with this person, and he was a yoga teacher, and we lived together for, 2 years or something like that. So, he was, my yoga teacher, and I was...
Were you dating at the time?
Okay. Was super into CrossFit. I had injured both of my shoulders. He had a shoulder injury, so we found this guy on Instagram, Vinny Pham. He's the creator of Myo Detox in Toronto is where it started. And I got us both sessions with him for Christmas to, go up there, see him. Okay. He was this body worker. He did before and after pictures, so you could literally see this unwinding that would happen in your body, posturally. So we went up there. He spent 4 hours with us. He was super cool, super cool setup, 2 tables in one room. He took rehab and made it sexy. All these athletes were coming in to see him. So we were just super intrigued, yo, how do we give this to people? He totally helped my shoulders, a lot after one session, crazy. So he was like, oh my God, do you guys want to, do a 1-week internship up here? So we studied with him for a week, doing a lot of hands-on stuff.
Is that when you were just, up and left and just started living in Toronto?
No, so we just went up there for, a week, just to hang out with these guys and, see what they were about, and, we spent, literally all week with them. It was awesome. We learned so much. My hands were, raw by the end of the week because we were just doing, so much stuff. But it was awesome.
So this is, a type of massage?
Kind of, yeah. It's a body work. So a form of body work. So Ida Rolf created Rolfing, which was, she looked at the body in space against gravity. And she worked with a lot of dancers. So she developed this form of body work where you start from the feet, work your way up. Okay. Then Tom Myers studied with Ida Rolf. He made his own, structural integration course. Then Vinny Pham studied with Tom Myers and made Myo Detox his brand. So it's, this, evolving...
They're all kind of, personalized techniques.
Yeah. It's like a brand, I guess. Kind of. Vinny's getting more into movement now. He's super cool. Myo Detox on Instagram. Give him a follow. They're great. But so after that happened, I was still working as an OT, an occupational therapist at Upstate, and
I'm interested how that all started. So you first were occupational therapist before all of this?
Yeah. I originally, went to school
the traditional route?
Yeah, I did the traditional thing. I got a master's degree. I thought that's what you had to do. I always walked this very straight path of, high school, then college, then you get this career. And for a year I worked in a nursing home, and I really saw what happens to the body as you age. And that's really what kind of brought me to yoga a little bit. It was I don't want to end up like these people. And, I was living in Oswego, so I got into Bikram Yoga, which it's so funny. I don't like Bikram Yoga.
I've heard of it. It's the hot yoga, right?
Yeah, it's 90 minutes long, 107-degree room. I think there's 26 postures or something. It's all very scripted, same class every time.
And that was a branded thing at the
Bikram
time.
is a form of yoga. So Bikram was a teacher. He made up this thing. There's not too many Bikram studios around.
Now they just brand it as hot yoga.
Right, but it's different. So Bikram is literally the same sequence every class. Like, yeah, I don't agree with all of Bikram Yoga, but
I've heard about him specifically. There's been some like controversial shit about him.
Yeah, he kind of like defaced his whole thing, which is too bad.
Especially in the yoga community, you know?
Yeah, man. Like, it's really heartbreaking when stuff like that happens because, you know, it does...
Devalues it.
Yeah, and I, like, totally judged this yoga teacher that came into our yoga teacher training, Kevin Courtney, who I love, by the way. Like, so I set an intention that Friday because I noticed, like... Because the guy that I was dating totally, like... Oh my God, it was a mess. He broke my heart. And I was like, fuck male yoga teachers. Like, fuck them all. They all suck. So Kevin Courtney comes in. He's got this, like, little man bun and a scarf and these rings on. And I'm like, yeah, whatever, guru. Like, okay. So I noticed that I was having that attitude. And I was like, all right, you're going to set the intention to not judge this guy. Amazing yoga teacher. Truly genuine from the heart. So thank you, Kevin Courtney, for changing my mind about male yoga teachers. But so I was in Oswego working in a nursing home, got into Bikram Yoga. Then I always wanted to work at Upstate, like dream job to work at Upstate. All the best therapists work there. So I got a job at Upstate and I started working there. And that's when like my life really changed. Because we're a level 1 trauma center, so I was seeing, like, fresh spinal cord injured patients, like, fresh trauma from car accidents. I was on the cancer unit for a while. So I also then got into Reiki. So I got my Reiki level 1 and level 2, and there was some energy work that was happening, like, on the cancer units. I would do some, like, guided imagery and visualization with, like, people that were pretty much, like, dying on the cancer unit. Like, that was therapeutic for them. It was skilled. You know, I would teach family members, like, family members are afraid to touch people sometimes. They think they can hurt them. So, like, I would go in and teach people, like, how to massage feet. Like, you like your feet massaged. Like, that feels nice. Like, it's okay to, like, do some nice massage to make them feel better. And it just got to be, like, way too much working there full time. I was there for 11 months. And the guy that I was dating was,
you were doing both Reiki and the OT?
Yeah. The Reiki was more of, like, just a side thing that I was exploring because it's, like, so weird. It's, like, really awesome, powerful stuff, but it's, like, you have to be in this state of meditation and, like, clear channel.
Because you're like an outlet.
Yeah, you're just like a conduit. Like, you're not doing anything. You're just like this tool, I guess, to
channel the energy.
Yeah, provide this energy from the universe and what the person might need. So the guy that I was dating was like, Miss, like, you're an adult. You can do whatever you want. And one of the PTs that I work with, who I love so much, she was like, Missy, you can go per diem and still have benefits. And I was like, what? So...
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I work at Upstate. I'm really grateful for that job. It's a great place to work. I work 2 weekends a month, and they provide me with health insurance. So
that's awesome.
I'm really grateful for that. Yeah. And it's, like, a really cool job to have going in there 4 days a month I can handle. You know, like, I'll see some bad stuff, but I know I'm helping them through that, and I can process it. I have time away from it, and then I can go back to it.
And it's something stable that'll always be there. You know?
Yeah. You know, in case, like, I injure myself, God forbid, and, like, I can't use my hands as well to massage. Like, OT is this safe thing that I have to fall back on. So I am grateful for that, but I always knew that I wanted to be a massage therapist, but again, traditional route, society, college, master's degree, like, I was thinking about getting a PhD at one point in time, and then all of a sudden I'm in fucking trade school. I was like, if I go back to school, like, I'm not going to trade school. Like, no. So Kyle and I, the guy that I was with, we, like, started offering like services for myofascial release because we studied with these guys up in Toronto. So I had 2 per diem jobs at this point in time, just kind of like working when I wanted. We had started to grow like these clients. So we have these clients, we're like, oh shit, like we're getting like some income from this. Like we should probably start like a DBA or like some sort of business to do this. So like it's all legal. So we meet with a lawyer and he's like looking over our stuff and he's like, you guys know that you have to be like licensed as a massage therapist in New York State to do this, right? And I was like, no, we don't. I'm an OT. Like, he's a personal trainer and a yoga teacher. No, we don't. He was like, no, like, you do. So I was like, I'm not going to trade school. Well, about 3 months later, yeah.
Even though you always wanted to be a massage therapist?
Yeah, always. I always wanted to do that.
But not go to trade school.
But, like, yeah, I was like, I don't want to, like, I saw it as, like, taking a step back in education, which is totally not the truth. Oh, my God, totally not the truth. It's the best thing I ever did. You know, it was just, like, I didn't expect that to be my route, but I knew I had to do it. Like, when I learned how to do this form of body work, and, you know, I've always found touch to be so powerful, even in the hospital, like, family members just, like, touching them and being, like, asking the family member, like, do you need a hug? Like, you need a hug right now. And you can just feel this, like, relief, like, oh, my God, somebody is looking at me, too, because they're going through it also. And, like, touch is just, like, assurance, like, you're not alone. But, yeah, so in massage school, doing the school thing, break up with my ex-boyfriend, worst time of my life. I wanted to quit school. I almost quit school like 5 times. But, like, I knew that I just had to get through it and finish, and that it was my purpose in life. So, man, that was really hard. But I got through it, passed my boards really well, and then I started renting a room out of Meta Wellness. It's a massage studio in Syracuse. They also have...
Before we trail off.
Yeah.
Because this is good stuff right here.
Yeah.
What kept you going through all those hardships?
Part of it was, like, I was stubborn. I was like, okay, this guy is, like, not going to derail what I want to do. But,
your boyfriend?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But, like, I really knew that I had to do this. Like, massage is my calling in life. I think, I don't know, I don't like calling myself a healer because it's not just me. I am a facilitator of healing. Like, I can help you heal your body with, like...
It's more holistic.
Yeah, with touch and, like, breathing and, you know, making people experience their body. Like, the type of massage that I do isn't, like, light and fluffy. It's, like, deep, calming, like, we're going to breathe some stuff out. But I just knew that I was meant to use my hands. Like, I excelled in massage school. Like, I was just, like, in Swedish, like, oh, my God, I can't believe I have to be here. Like, but it was really fun because we got a massage every day for, like, 3 months. Nice. I looked at my teacher, Jean. I was like, can you just fail me? I will fail this class. She was like, Missy, I'm not failing you. And I was like, oh, okay. Because I just, like, I'm like a golden retriever. You know, that's the other thing. I love touch. And, like, I have felt the effects of touch and, like, how calming it can be or just comforting. You know, like, sometimes when you're going through a hard time, there's no words that are going to help you, but, like, if somebody hugs you, it's just like, I'm okay. Like, all right, I know I felt that energy exchange. That's what it is. It's an energy exchange. So, yeah, I was just like, people in clinic at massage school were like, that's the best massage I've ever had. And I'm just like, okay.
It's you and me.
Thanks. You know, like, I can't wait to be done with all of this so that I can be free, you know, because man, I was not feeling good in clinic, like, because, you know, I had to see the guy, and, like, I was just like, this sucks, man. But a lot of awesome friends got me through that time, too, and my family, because I was also we moved into his parents' house, because we were saving up to buy a house. So that was another layer. Like, I didn't have anywhere to live for a minute. It was like the craziest time of my life. But when you know that you're supposed to do something and you have to do it, like, nothing will fucking stop you from doing it. And it's just such a powerful part of my life that, like, I can give that to people. After I get a massage, I'm like, I think of, like, the massage therapist, and I'm like, I love her so much. Or, like, I love him so much. Like, I feel so much better. Like, thank God. I'm so glad that they, like, can help me. And it's like, I give that to people. And, you know, some of my clients will text me after and be like, I feel so much better. Like, thank you so much. Like, you're the best. And it's like, it's really nice to hear those things, because sometimes you wonder, like, am I doing what these people need? Like, man, could I have done a better job working on them? Like, you know, I have certain clients that we're working on, like, some mobility stuff and opening up their shoulders, and I'm like, oh, like, am I doing enough? Like, what else can I be doing? So there's always more to learn about the body. So I love it.
What was your first experience? You said that you've always known that you wanted to do massage therapy?
Yeah, so, like, as a kid, I don't know, I was just drawn to, like, weird spiritual stuff, but, like, didn't
like
understand it. Yeah,
tarot,
like magic stuff, right? And, like, yoga and breathing and, like, these shaman healers. Like, I was always so drawn to that. And I've always been super sensitive since I was a kid, definitely an empath, like, and you don't know it when you're a child. Like, you just feel these intense things that other people are feeling sometimes. And you're like, like, wow, it's like, this is affecting me. And as an adult, you learn what to do with that. But yeah, like, I always...
What do you do?
What do you mean? So in Reiki training, they teach you to, like, turn on a little light beam, like, coming out from the center of you, and it's like a shield. So, like, you have to have boundaries, especially as a massage therapist. You know, it's like, my space is a safe space, like, for you and me. Like, it's very important for both of us to feel safe in this space of, like, healing. It's super vulnerable. A lot of people are on my table naked. Like, this is a safe space, like, for all. So then my sister is also a massage therapist and an occupational therapist. We did it in reverse orders. So she went to massage school first, and then OT school. So as soon as I graduated OT school, I thought about going back to massage school, but I was like, I have all these student loans. I'm just going to wait a while. And then it just all, like, within 2 years unraveled that, like, whoop, you're on this other path now, like, go get it. And, you know, that's kind of what happened. So I had my first massage when I was, like, 16 or 17, and it was actually by this girl that was in my sister's class. She couldn't see. Like, it was a pretty cool experience. Yeah, like, me and my dad used to go to her massage clinic. So I was exposed to massage at a pretty, like, I would say that's a pretty young age to be getting a massage. You know, so, like, it was just, like, even cooler. And I was like, oh, like, I don't want to copy my sister. Like, that was part of it. And then she was in OT school, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, for the first time, I didn't copy you. Now you're doing the same thing as me. Like, crazy. So, yeah, I, like, just didn't think that was the path that I was supposed to be on.
Maybe because of that's what you were been told.
Yeah, totally. Like, I had a pension at Upstate. My dad's like, you should be so grateful that you have a pension, because he worked for the state for years and has, like, this great pension. He's like, that's such, like, a big deal. Like, nobody does that anymore.
With a pension?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because Upstate, like, I don't know what tier I was in, but, like, I walked away from that when
That's a retirement fund, right?
Yeah, pension. Yeah, like they send you a check every month for working.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like you don't have to save up for it. You just get it. Yeah, you get a pension. That's so crazy. You don't know what a pension is.
I was researching it the other day, actually. And
Really?
It came up, and it was about, like, retirement fund.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize it was just, like, automatic.
Yeah,
given.
like you have to work X amount of years to get it. Like, I don't know exactly how it works, but it's like you work this many years, you retire, and you get a fucking pension. And it's like...
It's a good gig.
Yeah, my dad is like, I make more money now than I did when I was working. I get paid to be alive. And I'm like... Yeah, Dad, like, that's cool. Yeah,
but you're also so driven where you might, like, need that kind of, like, something to do.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, man, working for 30 years, doing something that you're not in love with is a long fucking time. Like, I would rather save up on my own, have something, like... you know, that I am prepared to retire, but, like, I can do that on my own, you know?
And that's your path. You're creating your own path.
Yeah, you know, and it's like we have anxiety sometimes about the future, but you create your own future. Like, you can do things to create your own future. So if I have anxiety about certain things, like, oh, my God, I'm 30, and, like... I'm single and, you know, everybody that, like, I grew up with is married and having babies and this and that. But, like, look at what you're doing. Like, you're creating this business and, like, my job is my love. Like, I bury myself in my work because I love it and I'm truly happy. And it's just like, okay, so I'm going to create this nice future for myself and, you know, focus on other things like travel and... you know, helping people has afforded me, you know, a life that is really nice. Like, I can't even believe it sometimes. Like, I look at my life and I'm just like, wow, like, this is so cool. Yeah, like, if I were a kid looking at my life now, I would high five myself. Like, you're so cool. Like, I would think my life is so cool. So... yeah, if you follow what you love and you can monetize it, like...
doors start opening.
Oh, my God. Yeah. But you have to believe in it. Like, you really... I didn't really have any other choice. It was, like, sink or swim. And, like, I'm not sinking. Like,
You didn't have any other choice?
No.
What do you mean by that?
Like, I guess I shouldn't say that because I did. Because I always have OT to fall back on. But, like... I just didn't want to work full-time for someone else anymore. I really didn't want to. I wanted to be my own boss, and I knew if I wanted to do that, I was going to have to work real hard all the time. So I was setting up my massage table in CrossFit gyms, like setting up at CrossFit competitions for free, like just getting my hands on people. Where are you hurting? Like, okay, I would do something, they'd get off the table and be like, oh, my God. Like, where's your card? So, you know, that's kind of how I was able to build my business really organically, all word of mouth. It's been really cool. Like, it's been super cool. So,
and you're creating community, too.
Yeah. I'm over at CrossFit Syracuse now, and the cat's out of the bag there. I've been, like, trying to not take new clients because it's so crazy. But it's like... man, I'm like a golden retriever that, like, wants to love everyone, especially if I know you need help. I'm like, oh, my God, like, I know I can help you, but I've had to, like, set this boundary of, like, I know I can help you.
You need to respect yourself,
but,
too.
like, yeah, I'm not going to be able to help you because I'm, like, running myself into the ground. So... you know, there's ways to handle that. But
trying to find, like, sustainability within the business.
Yeah, because massage therapists, you know, we use our hands all day. So a lot of therapists will burn out after, like, 4 years.
Oh, wow.
And I've been doing it for, I don't know, I think I'm going on my 3rd or 4th year now of doing massage. So there's definitely sometimes some issues with the wrists and hands. I also love CrossFit, so balancing... all of, like, the things that we do with barbells and hanging from a rig and, like, holding on to kettlebells and walking on your hands and doing burpees and all this, like, it's like a constant game of, like, keeping balance to feel good in my body. But that allows me to help CrossFitters because I know what they feel. And a lot of my clients do CrossFit. It's such a cool community to be a part of.
CrossFit?
I have a level 1 certification. I was coaching for a little while. So I was doing that too, but I needed to, like,
hold up the reins.
Yeah, like, not do one thing. So it was like, yeah, it was just a lot. So, yeah.
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 And this is all self-made.
Yeah, all self-made. Man, I had some pretty good teachers along the way, though. Like, yeah. That relationship that didn't work out was like, oh my God, I was so heartbroken about it. But I look back on it and it's like, that was a really important relationship in my life because I never would have went to massage school if that never happened.
True.
I don't know if I would have, honestly. Like, I probably would have just kept working because, like, I felt like I had the permission to, like, do this because I was doing it with someone, so it was less scary.
Okay.
Yeah, but, like, you shouldn't feel that way. Like, if you're scared, you should do it. Like, for sure. Prepare.
Because it's a challenge.
Yeah. I mean,
something new.
I was walking away from a very stable thing, like state job, state benefits, time paid off, like pension. Yeah. So I was just like, well, I'm walking away from this. Like, people would love to have this, and, like, I'm walking away from it. Am I going to regret this? Is this going to work out? But you create your future. Manifest destiny, right? Like, you can create whatever you want in your life if you want to.
What do you think gives you that itching to want to do something like this?
I honestly just love people. I love people. I love being around people. I'm a natural nurturer. Like, I want to take care of people. It's just in me, you know, being an empathetic person and, like, having the ability to feel things that other people are feeling. Sometimes it's like, man, I've been there. Like, I know what you're feeling, and, like, I think I can, you know, help you through that too. Some of my clients are really quiet on the table, and some of them it's like a therapy session, and that's okay because it's the safe space. Like, if you need to talk through some stuff, like, it's the safe space. It's amazing what like, some people tell me when they're on the table, but it's this, like, you're just safe. It's, like, the craziest thing, and it makes me feel really good because people do feel safe. Like, my dog comes in with me every day, so that's, like, another, like, kind of, like, calming therapeutic thing. Like, oh, there's a dog, like, that is you're petting as you're telling me about, like, this pain that you're having before you get onto the table. So it's kind of like this therapeutic thing, like, oh my God, a dog, and, like, my shoulder really hurts, and it's, like, kind of calming as you're talking about pain. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's either in you or it's not. Like, if I were a lazy person, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing for sure. And it's funny because I am lazy in certain areas of my life. But when it comes to work, like, I want to work.
Well, you're lucky for being able to figure that out so early on, you know?
Yeah. You know, it's one of the things that I feel most grateful for, honestly. I went back to massage school when I was 26, and I finished when I was 27, and, it's been a pretty...
How old are you now?
I'm 30.
30?
Yep. So it's been, like, a pretty cool ride. I mean, I worked at a studio for, like, about a year. I rented a room at Meta Wellness. They're great. They have float tanks. They have an awesome chiropractor there, Zach Rowell. He's great. I actually have an appointment with him tomorrow. And, you know, it was cool working out of a studio. I really liked working with other therapists, but some things were changing there, and I was just like, I'm just going to go be on my own, in my own space. So I found the Delavan Center on Craigslist. I had never heard of the Delavan Center. I drove by it like every day. It's an artist building. So I go there. Bill Delavan opens this door to this room, and I'm like, it's like a big space. It's okay. And then he was like, well, I have another space that I want to show you. He opens up the door, and there's this big brick wall with this beautiful window, and I'm like, oh my God, this is the one. This is the space. Where do I sign? I want this room. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, I'm there. I'm still there. I've been there for over a year in November. And it's just been like, yeah, I created this space. My best friends are angels and helped me create this cool, really like looking space because it's such a big space. So you walk in, it's like 460 square feet, I think. And we hung copper pipes with hemp from the ceiling so that there's these like curtains that come down that I have draped open when you come in, and then we chat about what's going on, close the curtains, you get on the table, Missy, I'm ready.
Good setup.
And then I come in and do the work. So yeah, like I really do believe in synchronicity is a thing, like synchronous events. Nothing is by coincidence. It's all synchronous, like...
Things happen for a reason.
Yes. Like, yeah, it's a real thing. Magic is real. I'm telling you, magic is real. And yoga opened up a lot of these
Yoga
doors.
could be magic.
Yoga is magic. Like, if you experience an amazing yoga class, like, some things open up, and you're like, whew, man, yeah.
Like super realizations going on.
Yeah, or
doing it.
There have been a few times where I've actually had like an out-of-body experience in Shavasana. It's only happened twice. And it was crazy. The first time it happened, I was just laying there, and all of a sudden, I literally saw myself like this
like
close.
Astral projection.
Yeah, like looking at myself, and I got really excited. So I like was like, oh my God, what's that? And I lost it, like because the ego like turned on.
Too.
And then it was like, wow, like that was pretty weird. And then the second time it happened, it was like the same thing where I was just like over myself, looking at myself with my eyes closed. And I was able to, like, stay with it for a little longer that time, but then I got really excited again that it was happening. So, like, man, yeah. So yoga is magic. When I did my yoga teacher training, Kevin Courtney, the teacher that I was talking about earlier, we did, like, this rounding of ohms for, like, 15 minutes. So it was just, like, om, 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 like, all over the room. After doing that for 15 minutes... I felt pure joy, like a child. It was, I've never experienced anything like it. I mean, I don't know if I didn't go through it that I would understand what somebody was talking about. It's just like the joy.
What would you describe?
You literally feel the joy of a child. Like this light, non-judgmental happiness.
Like it just opens up all of you.
Like just all of you, and you're like happy, and like you're just nice to people, and you see people like you see them, not just like you see them, like you really see into them.
Like look deep.
Yeah, like you're a human. Like we're all in this like crazy struggle of life. And life is really great, but you know, I think that there's a lot of suffering in life too, especially as you get older, and like, you know,
That's
people.
all a part of it.
Yeah. I've been reading a lot of Buddhist stuff lately. I've recently discovered that I think I'm like a Buddhist. You know, I don't like to label myself as anything, but like a lot of the Buddhist ideas,
you can recognize.
Totally down with it. They don't believe in a god. They believe in like
it's like
energy.
A lifestyle.
Yeah, it's a path. It's not an actual religion. It's just this path of action that you walk to like serve and like make the world better by the energy you put out is what you get back in. And accepting suffering and finding this like...
Not only accepting it, but...
Finding this like form of happiness like amidst the suffering. And there's like 10 worlds that we live in. anger, I think, is like the bottom of like the 10, and enlightenment is the top. You know, we all try to reach enlightenment. But yeah, it's really cool. There's chanting. The Buddhist chant, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, is like the law of the universe, and like...
Is it like Om?
You know, I don't know. That's a good question, because Om is like the sound of the universe, like the creation sound. So Nam Myoho Renge Kyo is like, yeah, the law of the universe. And so you chant with, like, say you want clarity on a certain situation. So you have this intention of like finding clarity, or like making this part of my life better, and you chant through it, and you know, it is supposed to help bring you whatever you need, and it's good stuff. Yeah, so recently I've been getting into that, and it all ties in together. I'm like, man, I need to find something outside of all of this wellness stuff to do, but it's just like keeps...
Yeah, every little bit, it's like adding to this...
Yeah, this...
conglomerate
of
disciplines.
Yeah, and it, you know, I really want to get into like some Tai Chi, Qigong stuff eventually. That's like on my radar. It's like I want to do all of these things at once, but I've learned become a master of one thing and then move on. Because if you're spinning all of these wheels at the same time, like, you're not going to be great at any of them. You'll be like okay at all of them, but you're not going to be great at any of them. So, you know, mastering like the massage thing was first. You know, yoga teacher, like, you know, that's another area of my life that's, you know, constantly evolving. And, you know, being an OT is like, you know, a small part of my life, but I still want to be great at that. And, you know, that's just me loving people, so that's easy, essentially. But,
and with each path that you go down, it's almost like it makes the next path, going into it more, like you're more confident.
Oh, for sure.
Like, you know you can do it.
Yeah.
And like, because you've done it in the past.
Yeah.
You know?
It's just like a different modality, I guess, that is like coming through. Yeah, like my education that I received to be an occupational therapist, like, really set such a strong foundation for me in terms of like the body and the mind, because OTs started out in mental health. Like, we started working with,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we started working with soldiers after the Civil War that were like all messed up. We would actually give them like baskets to weave, and that would like give them something to do, so they would enter this state of flow, and they could like get out of their head, and they were engaged in a purposeful activity. So that's where like we started as a practice. So I had to take a lot of psych classes in college, and, you know, all of the anatomy, neuroanatomy. I got to study cadavers at the New York Chiropractic College. You know, so all of that was such a strong foundation for going into massage school and my yoga teacher training, you know, movement, and, you know, OTs, we do a lot of activity analysis because we adapt things for people. So if you have a stroke and you can't, or a spinal cord injury, and you can't fully hold on to a utensil, we'll go in, we'll give you a cuff to put on your hand if you can bend your elbow. This little cuff, you stick the spoon in, so you can, like, you don't have to have any fine use of your hand, but the cuff goes around your hand, so the fork sticks out, and you can, like, scoop, bring it to your mouth.
Oh, okay.
So you have to be able to tell, okay, you have to flex your elbow to bring this to your mouth. Like, what muscle flexes the elbow? So we had to do, like, a bunch of studies like that, like breaking down activities, like what muscles are used, what kind of a lever is this, you know, so that going into yoga, like with movement, and like, where do you have pain? Okay. What motions give you pain? Okay. These muscle groups are used, these are not. One might be imbalanced, so like you need to try to strengthen this one, we need to stretch this one. So sometimes I feel like I have so much going on in my head that it's hard for me almost to convey what I want to people.
It's all just like
yeah, it's like
noise,
there's so much up
like,
there that like, how do I explain this to you so that it'll be meaningful and you understand it?
Because you have to contextualize it to them too.
Yeah, like, okay, and they have to trust me too that I know what I'm talking about. And sometimes it's like, oh my God, like I know so much. And when you're in healthcare, you forget that you know a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like your everyday life. So like you'll say words and it's like the person has no idea, like unilateral, it's one side. Or like, you know, I'll say a muscle and they're like, what the fuck did you just say? It's like, oh, this muscle. And there's a great app that I have on my phone, Essential Anatomy 3, I think, that I'll like pull up muscles and like show people like, okay, this is like what I'm talking about. And this is why your low back might be hurting, even though it's coming from the front of your spine. And, you know, being able to give that to people is super cool. So
it's cool how all you did was focus on what you were passionate about.
Yeah.
And then you were able to figure out all the financial, monetary means of doing it.
Yeah.
Through the process.
Yeah. So that was like, I was able to like save up enough money for like 3 months of expenses. Like I was giving myself like 3 months to like fail, essentially. Like if you fail, it's going to be okay. You have money put away to be able to pay all your bills. It's going to be fine. But like, I just never wanted to fail. And, you know, I am not afraid to talk to people. So like if I saw somebody like rubbing their shoulder or like their neck at the gym, I'd be like, hi, I'm Missy. I'm a massage therapist. Do you care if I try to help you? And they like, people sometimes look at me and be like, who the fuck, what? And, like I would touch them and they'd be like, oh my God, like what did you just do to me? Can I come see you? So, you know, you have to be, I don't know, you just have to like know,
ambitious.
Yeah, or like feel comfortable like wanting to help people. I guess I'm just a lover. Like I want to love all humans.
And that fills you up too.
Oh, totally, totally. Some of my clients don't realize like I'll kind of like be feeling the type of way like I'm just tired today. Like I'm kind of in a funk. Mm-hmm. As soon as I get my hands on someone, I'm better. Like totally feel better. It's just like, yeah, some of my clients, I love all of my clients, but there's like a handful of people that like, they don't realize how much they're giving back to me too. It's like, I know that they truly care about me. It's really funny, like as their massage therapist, because I've had the same clients for like, you know, 2 or 3 years. Like I know them, like I know their stories, I know about their relationships and their families, and, you know, they confide a lot in me. So,
and you're constantly learning.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Relating, understanding.
Yeah. And like, you know, helping them through like, oh my God, I'm going through a divorce. And it's just like, okay, I'm just going to love you today. Like just lay down. I'm going to at least make your body feel better. Mm-hmm. And like, we can talk through some stuff that you want to talk through because you're awesome. And like, you're allowed to feel sad, but your life has to go on. Like, you know, so I love working with women and like helping them feel good about themselves.
What would be like a bad day for you?
A bad day for me? A bad day for me would be if all my clients canceled. There are days that like if we do a really long, intense workout in the morning at CrossFit, like halfway through my day, I'm just hurting and like I want to lay down. I don't feel that good. I'm tired. Like my hands are tired.
And CrossFit is super intense.
Dude, it's so fun. It's so fun. It is intense, but it's super fun. It's a whole nother community of people that are really cool, hardworking, driven, for the most part, like motivated, kind people. It's a community, you know. So yeah, bad days, like I'm just tired and I want to lay down. Or like, you know, there's just some clients that their energy can be like, like, we call them energy vampires, where they're just, like, they just need to, like suck so much energy out of you. But, like, the more that you work, the quicker you realize it, and you turn your little light beam on. It's like, I have a light beam on, and I'm going to give you what I can, but, like, I'm aware that...
Like, setting your boundaries with them.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. Yeah, but I love what I do. I'm so grateful. I mean, I feel really blessed that, like, things have worked out the way that they have. And, you know, sometimes it's hard because you're always focused on, like, oh, I could be doing this, or, like, you know, I could be doing this better, but...
Because you're always striving.
Yeah, like, you know, I always want to be better, so, you know, which I think is a good thing to feel that way, you know, like, definitely. So, you know, keeping up on continuing ed courses, I'm really excited doing... For massage and OT. So we have to have 36 hours every 3 years for both disciplines. So St. Patrick's Day weekend, I'm going to Rochester for continuing ed class, like opening the side body. Because a lot of the time, you know, we work on the front and the back of the body, but we have these side body things. So just like different ways to access the body. And then in April, there's a rock blading course that I really want to take at Upstate. And that's just, like, these cool tools to use for body work to save my hands a little bit. But I don't love using tools because I like feeling what's happening underneath my hands. But I just want to go and, like, learn about all the things.
Rock blading? Is that what you said?
Rock blades, yep. So it's like, do you know what Grastins is? Mm-mm. Grastins is another, like, type of modality with, like, blades that you, like scrape.
Razor blades?
No, they're like these soft metal blades that, like, you kind of just, like, rub back and forth on the skin, and it's supposed to, like, break up adhesions and, like, increase circulation. So, like, rock blades, I think, kind of created their own spin-off on that kind of a thing. So I'm really excited to learn about that. And that's the other thing, is I love learning. Like, all of my 20s was dedicated to education for the most part.
And it's paying off.
Totally. Oh, my God. Totally. You know, educating yourself is one of the best things that you can do. That being said, it doesn't mean going to, like, a 4-year college all the time either. Like, trade school, getting certifications, like, that's just as well in today's world. So that would be a piece of advice that I would give to younger people. Like, don't think that you have to go get a fucking, you know, bachelor's or master's degree. Like, yeah, definitely, it's, like, a cool experience. Takes a lot of discipline. Like, college is a great time. I loved college. I miss college. But at the same time, you know, I owe a lot of money still from going to a private school. And I could have just went to trade school and, like... Yeah. You know, but
it did give you the OT.
My path is, like, yeah, it all worked out for me pretty well.
And as long as you're able to do what you love, the money's kind of, like, secondary.
And that's the other thing, is I never wanted massage to be about money for me, ever. Like, that's not why I wanted to do it. I just want to help people. And I know, like, if it ever does really come down to, like, that's why I'm doing it, I shouldn't be doing it anymore, because it is a very serious thing. Like, you're trusting me with your body. That's a big fucking deal. Like, you are trusting me with your body. Like, if I don't care about it,
you're not going to care about the person you're
I shouldn't be doing it. If I'm just like, okay, I want you to pay me, like,
yeah,
that's not good. That's not good. So I never want it to be about that. But it's crazy because when you make it not about that, the money just, like...
It comes anyway.
I can't believe it. It's amazing. I can't believe it. I struggled for a little bit. Like, it was tight for a little bit, but I just kept showing up. I kept working my ass off. And now it's like I have the luxury of kind of, like, you know, choosing who I want to work with. Like,
because you have so many clients at this point.
Yeah, and I love them all so much. And you know, I wish I could clone myself or like definitely put more hours in.
You have an empire, a massage empire.
Oh my God, it would be great. And people are like, oh, you should scale your business and like hire some people. And man, I don't want to deal with all of that. Yeah, like I don't want to deal with I just want to love people. Like, you know, I'm a business owner now, so I had to like learn some stuff and like get an accountant and like just hire people to do things that they do. Like,
that's a good point. Like, you were able early on identify the types of stuff that you enjoy learning.
Yeah.
And like you said, you enjoy learning, but maybe not the accounting stuff.
Yeah, like that's not me. Like, I didn't make it past 10th grade math. Like, I am not a math person. That's not how my brain works. I'm definitely more of like this free, science-minded human. So
you're like more holistic in your approach.
Definitely. Like I look at the whole person when I'm working and like scheduling and all that is, you know, sometimes I even mess that up and I'm like, oh my God, I double booked someone. Like, so sorry, but my clients are always
like today. You're
super.
Like
yeah, I'm like, oh my God, I had to like move a client, and then you know I'm going to barbell club after this. So, but that's cool that I can do that. You know, I always joke around. I say Wolfie is my boss. He's my dog because he comes to work with me every day, and I'm like, yo, Wolfie, is it okay if I do this? And he just looks at me, and I'm like, okay, it's okay that I do this. But yeah, it's you know the organization. That's been my resolution for 2019. Is to be organized because people are shocked when I tell them like, oh no, I'm super unorganized. Like, because my workspace, I keep it very nice in there, obviously, but like super unorganized.
You seem organized in like your long-term goal setting, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But maybe in the day-to-day routine, not so much.
Well, because I'm always doing so much at once. Like, I just leave things everywhere. Like, I'm very forgetful sometimes, so, like, I misplace my stuff I'm always losing my things. My roommates are, like, so patient with me. I'm so grateful for them. But, yeah, it's a learning experience for sure.
Yeah.
And, like, I always think, like, maybe I should take some business courses. Like, you know, maybe in my 40s I'm not going to want to hustle this hard, and I can just, like, take a few therapists in under my wing and give them my knowledge and like kind of be a mentor for them, but that wouldn't be for like 10 or 20 years probably.
And you probably get fulfillment from that too.
Absolutely. I love teaching. I've thought about teaching at the massage school eventually because I have the credentials to do that.
I was thinking self-awareness. That's hugely fucking important.
Yeah.
Especially like you're a living proof to that.
Yoga has brought a lot of self-awareness to my life, along with Eckhart Tolle, his books, The Power of Now and A New Earth. Super powerful books. I always go back to them. So, like, Eckhart Tolle talks about being, I think, the watcher of your mind or the watcher of the thinker. But, like, the mind is made to think. So we're going to think. Ding, 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 like all of these things are like going on in your head. If you ask yourself, what's my next thought going to be? There's a pause. Fuck, I don't know. What the fuck is my next thought going to be? Like, I don't know. You know, so you start asking yourself that question to kind of like reset your brain.
Yeah, that's a good technique.
Yeah, like what's my next thought going to be?
And then you're thinking of nothing.
Exactly. So like that really like... I read that book when I was a junior in college. So I'm like, you know, trying to figure, you know, we're always trying to figure life out. But like my dad gave me this book and he's been like a big spiritual teacher in my life. So I'm like, all right, I should probably read this.
In what way? Caveat.
He's just me and my dad are like the same person. Like we're super connected.
Personality wise or?
Definitely, he's very kind, compassionate, sensitive, loving human. You know, he's definitely like kind of Buddhist minded. And yeah, he's just always read these books that like are self-improving and, you know, spiritual. Because he always says, I don't know the answer. Like, I don't know what God is. And my mom is this, like, Roman Catholic
interesting
lady, right? So, like,
That's a story in itself.
Yeah, so I was raised, like, pretty much going to church with my mom.
Okay.
Was, like, confirmed at way too young of an age. Like, so stupid. I mean, if you have faith and it's good for you, I think it's good. But I think it should definitely be an educated choice for people.
Not misled.
Yeah, like, I didn't have a choice. Like, it was just, like, I was dragged to church every week. Like, you know, and when I was in high school, I would, like, go by myself. Like, just because I found it to be peaceful to sit for an hour of, like, kind of quiet. But then I went through this weird phase of being an atheist. And, like, because I would only talk to God when I needed or wanted something. And I was like, that's a pretty fucked up relationship. So I stopped believing in God. I was just like, no, like, I'm going to get myself through everything I need to get through. So I, like, took a step away, and then I came back to yoga and experienced, like, the cosmos in Shavasana sometimes of, like, we're floating around in some cosmic fucking energy, and that is my God. The universe is my God. I feel led by it in my work, in my words, like, in my life. I truly believe we're floating around in this beautiful cosmic energy, and it surrounds us all the time. It's loving, it's forgiving, and it's protecting. And what you put out is, like, what the cosmos will bring back to you. I digress.
Is this in, like, a practical sense? Like, you see us as Earth floating around in the cosmos, or is it more of, like, our souls?
Like, our souls in our physical form, like, it's around us all the time. We just can't see it. Like, we're floating around in this beautiful, it's like a baby in, like, utero. Like, they're floating in this, like, placenta, and they're, like, haven't come out into the world yet. So we're kind of, like, going through the world, even though we can't see it, surrounded by this energy. So you think
there's, like, another layer to the human reality?
Dimensions. I think there's dimensions. I kind of wish I did more drugs in college to, like, have experienced certain dimensions. Like, DMT is, like, this drug that, like, is released in your brain when you die. I think you get it off of, like, frogs and, like, some plant. But you do this drug, and supposedly you enter, like, this other dimension. Some people see, like, elves or, like, alien creatures. Yeah, like, I wish I did it. Because now I'm like, I just shouldn't be doing drugs. But, you know, like, maybe when I'm, like, 70, I'll try to get my hands on some DMT. But, yeah, like, you know, those psychedelic drugs.
Mushrooms.
Yeah, open up your brain to, like, see these things. Like, they have to be somewhere. Are they just in our brain? Are we the universe seeing itself? Like, do we make the universe exist because we're seeing it, you know?
Like, we're creating our own reality.
My dad and I had this conversation today, actually, because we were talking about some Buddhist stuff, and he's like, maybe we're just the universe looking back at itself. Like, I don't know what all of this is, you know? Like, why are we here? What's the end goal? You know, we're here for a short while, and then we go away. You know, impermanence is the other thing in Buddhist.
What's that?
Impermanence. Like, everything is impermanent. Like, nothing is forever. Like, we are not permanent. This desk is not permanent. This space is not permanent. It might be here for a long time. It's not going to be here forever. So it's this cycle of life and death, and, like, accepting those cycles of life and death. But yeah, I mean, I could go off on a whole nother tangent about that, but the acceptance part and, like, finding kindness for yourself. When you're self-aware in your own self, you can be more of a help to others of, like...
Because you're creating value in yourself that you can spread.
Yeah, and it's almost just, like...
Or you know what it is of value that is aligning with your skills or, like, your interests, talents.
Yeah, it's like you can bring yourself, like, back down, like anxiety, right? We all struggle with anxiety. So if you have the realization that, like, fuck, I'm feeling a little anxious right now, and then you breathe into that, like, I'm just going to take a few deep breaths, reset my nervous system. Okay, now I'm not as anxious. I can function in the world better. Like, or, you know, if you're driving and you get fucking angry because somebody's driving like an idiot, it's like, this person is making me feel anger, and I don't need to feel anger. There's monks that will say, when you're angry, you look stupid because you're allowing somebody else to control how you feel. Right? Somebody makes you angry. Monks don't say, I am angry. They'll say there's anger present because they are not anger.
Kind of detach them.
Yes, totally.
Okay, so if you're detaching yourself from anger, then what about with happiness? Do you
Same thing.
choose? No, it's all...
Same thing. It's like, I'm feeling happiness, but, like, I'm not happy. Like...
Oh, okay.
Like, I am just this being, like...
It almost gives it a sense of respect, too.
Yeah, like...
That you don't own it or control it.
Yeah, it's just, like, present here, now.
Yeah.
Like...
And emotions come and go, and you never know what you're going to experience.
Happiness feels better. It feels better, but, like, that's a fleeting state, too. Like, we're not happy all the time, you know? It's good to be happy most of the time. I feel like I'm a pretty happy person most of the time. And then, you know, there's times that, like, you're just in a funk, and you're like, oh, man, I'm in a funk. And I'll, like, talk myself through it, and I'll just be like, oh, like, it's okay that you're in a funk. It's going to get better. Like, it's just, yeah, self-awareness is huge. Because you can, like, stop yourself, like, from old patterns when you have self-awareness. Like, instead of just, like, reacting, you can respond. So responding...
It's more conscious.
...is, like, action, right? Like, you're coming from a purposeful action where, like, you react. It's just, you're reactive. It's not productive. Yeah, it's just like, blah! You know, like, instead of, okay, you know, I'm going to control the situation in a logical way. Whereas, like, when you feel something, you react, it's, like, emotional. And it's, like, that's not always the best way to respond to things. So, yeah, the self-awareness thing, yoga, when you become aware of your breath on the mat and sensations when you're feeling and, like, man, this is an intense sensation. Where does your brain go? Are you like, fuck, get me out of this? Like, why does she have me in this? Like, you know, where is your brain going? And you stop that and you just breathe. Breathe into it. Try to let it go. Breathe into it again. And all of a sudden you're melting on your mat. Like, oh my God. Yeah. I'm letting go and I'm totally in the moment because I'm with my breath, feeling the sensation, letting it go and creating space. So when you create space physically, you're also creating like this brain space too. So that, yeah, you can just function out in the craziness of the world better because you have a handle on your shit and, like, you know.
Is that what they mean by being centered?
Yeah, like, you're, like, pretty able to feel, like, grounded throughout life, you know? And we're always, like, shifting and, like, there are days that, like, maybe you're not able to be that self-aware and, you know, life is just crazy. And maybe you, like, reflect at the end of the day, like, man, I could have handled that situation better. So if you're in that situation again, you handle it better. Or, like, yeah, just being softened by awareness and, like, man.
What does that mean?
So when I was, like, going through all of that in massage school.
All of the...
Like, breakup, being in school, having to move, like, a bunch of times and, like, feeling really empty and sad, just really hurt. I was, like, angry. My, you know, this path that I thought I was on with this person is, like, non-existent. What am I going to do? And I realized that, like, man, I was going through such a hard time. I didn't want people to look at me. I didn't want people to say hi to me. I was, like, I was just, like, mad. I was fucking mad at the world. Like, nothing is working out. And I got through it, and I realized sometimes if people are being, like, really rude or not nice and they're strangers, you have no idea what they have going on in their life. Like, they could have just found out that, like, their partner is, like, cheating on them and leaving, or, they could have just found out that their kid is, like, a drug addict and, like, is needing to be readmitted to rehab again, like, or they just had a really bad day because their boss sucks and they're just, like, over it, and they're just at the grocery store and they're in their fucking way. They're still in their work mind. So, like, it's just good to try to have compassion for people, even when they're not that nice, like, because you don't know what they're going through. And, I always love to say, you can let life make you bitter, or you can let it make you better, and learn from, like, when you've been hurt and, like, what that felt like. I try to, when someone's mean, or, like, rude, or just, like, what the fuck? I just try to be like, man, that person needs a lot of love and compassion if they're going to act that way. So, like, I send them love and light that hopefully one day they, don't feel the need to, like, react that way or treat people that way. And, like, life is hard. And I'm not always, like, an angel about that. Like, sometimes I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you just fucking bumped into me and you're being rude. And then I'll have to catch myself and be like, you know what? I'm going to send you love and compassion because you need that. Like, sorry that I, reacted back to you. So, like, we're all human, and just because I'm a yoga teacher and, like, somebody that facilitates healing, like, I need reminders too. And I'm not always perfect. Yeah. But, I try to have pretty good self-awareness most of the time.
But it was a learning process.
Totally. And, yoga is the gateway drug to meditation and, like, just physical awareness. When you teach yourself to be physically aware, you open up these lines of energy, and then it's like you can be emotionally aware throughout your day too. Like, where am I holding today? Like, you see somebody walking around with, like, this posture of, like, their head's down, their, like, shoulders are forward. They don't feel good about themselves or a situation in their life, like, say hi to them.
Be curious.
Yeah, like, you exist. Like, hey, how you doing, man? Like, what's up? Acknowledge those people. But I've, like, worked with people that, I'll tell that, like, women especially are, like, they have these
powerless.
Like, and I tell them, like, you're way too pretty to stand like that. Like, so I'm not like, why are you standing like that? It's like, you're so pretty. Try to stand with your shoulder. Like, be a proud peacock that you are. Like, you're beautiful. And I've watched certain clients, like, change the way they, like, access their world through their posture and their body language. It's so cool. It's so cool. Just, like, how you carry yourself. And a lot of people...
Totally changes your mindset, too.
Yeah, like, how you carry yourself is how you feel. Like, a confident person when they walk in the room. Like, you can tell this person is, like, pretty confident or, like, so uptight. They're, like, rigid and stiff in their movements and, like, like, fast and, like, or, like, people that are super anxious are, like, all over the place. So, yeah, like, the way, you carry yourself, and that's where yoga kind of, like, you carry yourself through these postures and they make you feel a certain way. And,
you said something profound the other, last Thursday.
Yes.
You said, let the posture put you inside your... No, I'm going to fuck it up.
So this is like a yoga term. I did not come up with this. We use the pose to get into the body. We do not use the body to get into the pose.
And that was just...
Yeah, it's so important for students to hear that because, like, I've been doing yoga for, like, 7 years religiously. So, like, I can move my body in all these ways. And, like, that's not what it's about. Like, if you can feel your body and breathe into it, that's what it's about. Like, yes...
It's more meditative.
Yeah, there is this posture that you can maybe get into one day, but that's not what it's about. Like, that's not what yoga started as. Yoga started as, like,
it's
this internal reflection of, like, it's a mirror. Yoga is a mirror for your mind. Yoga is made to quiet the chatter of the brain, to be present in the moment. And yoga has definitely changed my life, probably more profoundly than anything. And then, the massage thing is just like a really profound thing for me to give to other people. But like movement is medicine. That's why my business is called Movement Love. Like, movement is medicine, and yoga, is movement. But I think that all of the social media and like,
oh yeah, for sure,
has ruined it
into something
like
that's not,
into this white fucking skinny lady thing. Like, and that's not what it started out as.
It started out as just men.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah, it used to be just men. Like, women
couldn't even do it.
Were not in on the yoga thing. Like, one-on-one teacher, like a lot of sitting and meditation. Like there were like 8 postures or something like that. Yoga, the physical asana is to prepare the mind to sit. You're preparing the body and the mind to sit.
So you're saying like the poses is providing a way
preparation to sit. So like, certain yoga teachers after class, they'll say like, stay in the room as long as you want. Like, if you want to meditate in here, I should probably say that in my class. Jamie Pratt is a really great teacher at O-Yoga. I love her classes. But she's really good about that. Like, if you want to sit, like, that's what the practice is for. Like, stay and sit. If anything came up, like, sit with that.
Like, literally go and sit?
Yeah, like, sit. Sit with yourself. Like... And you just, it's really cool stuff. You figure out a lot about yourself.
Yeah.
Where your thinking patterns go and,
Because there's so much noise out there, especially with social media. And so many people telling you what you should do, what's the right way to do. You don't have time for yourself in this chaos of world we have right now.
And you're, like, comparing yourself to, like, these yogis, like, walking on their hands and, like, touching their feet to their head when they're on their hands and like this backwards back bend that's like, I am never going to be there. And that's like, okay. And it's okay to be there, but like,
that shouldn't,
that's not what it's about.
I don't want to devalue that either, because that has allowed yoga to be the
right. So the fact that more people are doing yoga is good. I just think we're, like, being a little disrespectful to its origin and how it's meant to be practiced. And, like, I'm guilty of wearing Lululemon. I have Lululemon on right now. Very comfortable athletic wear, but, like, that's not what it's about either. Like, show up in cotton. Like, I don't care what you have on. Like, that's not what it's supposed to be about. But
everything serves a purpose.
Yeah. And it has helped yoga to grow, in our culture. And I think that, like, things will renormalize eventually. It's just, like, exploding right now, which is good. It's good. We all need more yoga.
You might need that superficial, more, like, attention grab.
Yes.
To get you into it initially.
And then you can transform into, like, I had, like, a profound thing happen. Like, when I first started doing yoga classes, I remember I was like 23 at the end of this yoga class. Just tears were just like, I wasn't upset about anything. I didn't know what was happening to me. I was like in Shavasana, just like crying. And I'm like, oh my God. And like, I was like, oh my God, I hope nobody is looking at me. Like, I don't know why I'm crying right now. This is so weird. And then I learned that's a normal thing that can happen when we first start practicing yoga. It's like something got released in the practice and it came out through your eyeballs. Like, crying is very cleansing. So, like, a lot of people, like, when they first start doing yoga, like, will just start, like, crying in the middle of class or, like, at the end of class. There could be nothing wrong with you. It's just, like, something was released in your body and it's coming out. Could be a
chemical reaction.
Well, we store trauma in our tissues. So sometimes when you, like, position yourself in a certain way,
Snap.
You might be opening up that stored trauma, and it's releasing. So it's like, that's the magic of yoga. Like, you're opening up these lines, and sometimes it brings up some ugly shit, like, that you don't want to think about. And it's
yeah, for sure.
You have to, like, forgive yourself or forgive whoever and, like, be at peace with that and, like, let it go. Like, that's done and in the past. It's okay to feel this way about it, but, like, move forward. So, yeah, yoga is magic. It's super magic. I prefer a one-on-one teacher. It's, traditionally how yoga is meant to be taught.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Not like how it is.
No.
One-on-one. You have one person and a group of...
Yeah, it's really like a one-on-one practice.
Like massage therapy.
Yeah. It's like a one-on-one thing, Like, so I recently, over the last few months, started working with a yoga teacher, Judy Sista. She's pretty wonderful. I've only been able to work with her a few times, but, like, I need a one-on-one teacher. Like, I need to be led spiritually. Like, give me books to read. Like, because, anyone can do anything physically over time. If you work hard enough at something, you can get your body into something. But, like, sitting with the mind and, like, learning to be, like, a compassionate, like, serving human, that's, like, hard. It's hard to, like, live that life and, like, train the mind in certain ways. And, that's what I want from my yoga teachers. Like, some of the postures, too, like, she's teaching me, like, some Ashtanga, like, Series A and B. And it's so funny because I've always stayed away from Ashtanga because it's, like, super intense physical postures. It's super intense. And I'm like, that's not what I want to do.
Isn't that like power moves kind of things?
Yeah. Like, there's, like, so many fucking chaturangas. I'm just like, she was killing me one day. I'm like, Julian, oh my God, I did so much at CrossFit this morning. But, like, all right, I'm going to do another chaturanga. And, like, yeah, it's just, like, quick. So there's, like, a standing series and then a floor series and then a balancing series, I think. I could be totally wrong. I'm not an Ashtangi yogi yet. I think Judy is going to try to make me one.
The beauty of yoga is that there's so many different forms. Yeah.
So Kripalu is, like, what the guy that I was dating, he studied Kripalu down in Massachusetts. Yeah. And that is my favorite kind of yoga. It's all about self-love.
That was their own, like, thing.
Yeah, Kripalu is a school of yoga. It's like Hatha yoga, so very gentle breathing and movement. But it's about self-compassion and self-love and being nice to yourself and meeting yourself in the posture where you are that day and not judging. Just, like... And that really is, like, the goal, I think, of all yogas. But Kripalu is, like... just super gentle. There's no, like, sequence. It's just, like...
Maybe more of a thought process behind it because you're not focusing so much on the physical.
Yeah, kind of. I think that's a good way to put it. So I like that kind of yoga where it's just, like, kind of...
gentle.
Yeah, gentle, more restorative. I teach restorative classes on Sundays.
So you label it or you... brand it, we'll say, as gentle restorative yoga, but it's Kripalu. So
Kripalu yoga is, like, its own thing. Like, I didn't study at Kripalu. I just, like, studied with a Kripalu teacher for, a while. And, the yoga teacher training that I did was Iyengar-based yoga, which is, like, pretty, like, symmetrical. Like, the pose is, like... You use the pose to get into the body, but, like, you try to master the pose. Iyengar was a pretty intense guy. So that's the kind of yoga that I studied during my yoga teacher training. But there's all of these different, like, schools of yoga. So, like, restorative yoga is just, like, you hold postures for, like, 5 minutes at a time. And you have to really sit with your brain. So, like, that is, like, really hard for people. I had, like, a 16-year-old in my class one time. she was just like staring at the ceiling the whole time, like so mad. I could tell she was so mad that she came to my yoga class, not realizing that it wasn't like this quick like vinyasa flow up and down. Like, no, we're sitting here for, our legs were up the wall for like 16 minutes, like doing different postures, but like we didn't move from our legs being up the wall for like 16 minutes of class.
And if you expect that it is more of like the flowing,
a vinyasa flow.
Yeah, I can see why she was upset.
Yeah. So I was like, but I watched her as class went on, like melt into herself. So that was cool.
Change of perspective.
Yeah, I was like, all right, she might not come back, but I can tell she's like at least relaxing into this instead of just being like, what the fuck, like.
Open-minded.
Yeah. So, restorative is just like longer holds and postures. Use a lot of props to like make it very comfortable and like easy to be in these postures. Whereas yin is like no warming up of the postures, very intense sensation immediately, and you breathe into it. And like over time, that dense connective tissue opens up. So yin is more targeted at like the dense connective tissue of your body instead of the muscles, whereas like a lot of other yogas like vinyasa, hatha, pretty much every other yoga, we're looking to like stretch our muscles and like some of like the connective tissue, but more so we're warming our muscles, we're stretching our muscles. Yin yoga, you're just like boom in it, no warming up, muscles are cold, you're getting into the connective tissue. So there's like a
Sounds
lot.
Sounds like injury prone. Like
people think that yoga prevents injuries. Not true at all. A lot of people get injured in yoga when they don't listen to their bodies. So yeah, you're right. Like if you're like dying in a posture, that's
Let
where
off,
it's
maybe.
like, come out, ease out, like go to your edge. The edge is like discomfort. Like, yeah. So that's where people get injured in yoga is the ego. They get, where there's ego, there's no amigo. That's like what I love to say to people because like, yeah, like you got to respect this. You got to respect it and be nice to it and move it mindfully. So that's where yoga is magic. If you lose your fucking ego, it's like with anything in life. If you have an ego about something, like you're not really serving yourself well.
It could become toxic.
Yeah. It's like good to be like self-assured about certain things and like know you're good at certain things, but like don't have an ego about it. Like don't be like,
Stay humble.
I can do anything. Exactly. Stay humble within yourself. Yeah. Which I think, we're humans.
I mean, I'm sure anyone can get carried away with their ego.
Yeah.
Every once in a while.
Oh yeah. For sure.
Forgiveness for yourself, too.
Yeah, and realizing, like, oh, shit, I was just kind of an asshole. Like, I should take that down a little bit.
Yeah.
But, we all have this want to be, like, accepted and liked, too, I think. Because we're pack animals, humans. Like, we've always lived in tribes and, like, we travel as groups nomadically, and... So I think that's part of it, too. But you have to follow your true north always. So when you do that, when you do that, it all works out. It'll all work out.
And would you say yoga's your, like, first and foremost passion out of all these different things you've encountered?
Personally, for, like, my own life and self-improvement, I think yoga has been the most profound thing that has happened to me, for sure. In my work, I'm most passionate about doing massage because I'm just really naturally good at it. Teaching yoga is actually really hard for me. Like, I'm always super, like, kind of nervous before class. I'm like, is this going to be a good flow for people? Like, are people going to like this? So I actually get really stressed out teaching yoga, which, like, people don't know. And, like...
Because the way you communicate, it's very mellow.
And as soon as I'm in it, I'm like, I love teaching. I love, things that just come out of my mouth. I'm like, where did that come from, And just holding space. So I, like, have to have pep talks with myself. Like, you're just here to hold space for these people to experience their body. Like, that's what my job is. So, yeah, like, I do enjoy teaching, but it definitely kind of stresses me out because I never want to do the same class twice. And, you know, like, some people, I think now that I'm, like, established at the rock climbing gym, people know what kind of class I'm teaching. I'm definitely more confident, and, like, I have the same students that show up every week that, like, really make me look forward to teaching, like you and Sean and Christy and, like, Paul, who comes, you know, pretty frequently.
It's totally different style. I've gone to a few different kind of yoga classes in this area, and, like, there's nothing like yours where it's the restorative, like, relief.
Gentle.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's more introspective. That's, like, for me, that's what I get out of yoga. I could go work out and get pumped up, but...
Yoga is not exercise for me, so I try to give that to other people. So that makes me feel really nice that you think that. So cool. Yeah, yoga is not exercise. It can be exercise, but, like, that's not what I want to give people. I want to give people, like, let's go in.
Yeah.
Like, go in, feel your breath, you know.
Therapeutic.
Like, sit with this. And, people respond well sometimes. It's not for everyone, and that's okay. So, you know, as a teacher, you have to be okay with that, too. Like, I've had someone leave in the middle of my class before.
Yeah, you have to understand maybe where they're coming from.
Yeah, and that's okay. Like, not for you. You know, you're always welcome back in my class. You know, like, if you totally hated it, that's okay. It's not for everyone. You know, maybe one day you'll want to do it again, but if not, that's okay. So, yeah. It's all good.
And it's not a reflection on your work.
No, and that's the thing is, like, so the 4 agreements, I don't know if you know about the 4 agreements.
Is that Buddhist?
Don Miguel Ruiz. It's like Toltec stuff. Be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. Don't assume anything. And do the best you can. You can live by those 4 rules. So not taking anything personally, because everybody is in their own story. So, like, you have no idea what's going on in this person's story just because they're, like, it's like, again, when somebody's being rude to you, you have compassion for them because, like, I'm not going to take that personally or assume that they are meaning to, like, be mean to me, you know? Like, you should never assume things. You should always ask questions. Like, that's what they believe. Because when you assume, like, you're just making a judgment that, like, you really know nothing about. So that's another good, you know, book to get into is The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. You know, and when you do the best you can, you don't feel any guilt. Like, you know you did the best you could. You can't feel guilt about things. Like, ask yourself, did I do the best I could?
Especially if your intentions are good.
Exactly. Like, man, no, I really did do the best that I could. Or, like, even in a CrossFit workout, it's like the open is happening right now, which is a big deal. So, like, it's like you go as hard as you can in these 5 weeks. Like, these 5 workouts every week. They're released on Thursday. You have from Thursday to Monday to complete it. It's like, I just do them one time. And, like, that's that. But yeah, it's like, I'm like digressing into like so many things.
Going into CrossFit now?
Yeah, I'm back in CrossFit land. Bring me back. But
You're on the 3rd rule.
The 3rd rule, which is, the 4th rule, do the best you can. Do the best you can, yes, thank you. So it's like if you do the best you could in a CrossFit workout, like, I'm not retesting. I'm not going to feel bad about my score, you know, because I did the best I could. Like, that's how fit I am. Like, I don't care that much about, like, my scores in CrossFit 'cause, like, I'm never going to be a competitive athlete. I just do it because I love it and I love the community. But, like, I work out with some people that are, like, super intense. Like, they'll do these workouts 2 or 3 times to, like, try to get a better score on the leaderboard. And I'm just like, man, I gave it my all the first time. I did the best I could. I don't feel bad about it, you know? So you apply that to, like, everything in your life. Like, did I do the best I could? Yeah, okay, I'm not going to feel bad about it. So, yeah, the 4 Agreements is another another good thing for people to get into, you know, if they're trying to be more self-aware in their world. Because, like, really, don't take anything personally. Like, how do you feel when you take something personally?
Guilty.
You don't feel good. It's like, oh, like, oh, God, like, did I do something to them? And it's like, you have to have that awareness that you're feeling that way to, like, not take it personal. Like, they're just probably having a bad day. Like, I'm not going to carry that, you know? So, yeah, that's another good path to kind of try to walk down.
Now, moving forward, where do you see yourself delving into? Maybe short-term, long-term?
You know, I think that massage land is where I'll live for a long time. Eventually, I think I'll end up teaching some sort of...
giving back in that?
Something, yeah. I think that I'll end up teaching, or I'll be a part of some sort of, like, yoga teacher training. I'm not sure I see myself teaching in the future, for sure. But I just want to keep growing and learning and expanding my knowledge on the body for a while. I really want to study with this guy. I think his name is Terry. He's Stop Chasing Pain on Instagram. He's a really good page to check out if you're into health and wellness. He's kind of this, like, super intense chiropractor. He tells it how it is. I really like him. I want to study with him. So I just want to keep...
You guys are connected?
He has no idea who I am. I follow him
okay.
on Instagram, and, like, if I comment on one of his posts, like, he has, like, you know, all of these, like, hundreds of thousands of followers. But he does these workshops all over the place. Like, I just haven't committed to one of them because my schedule is so crazy. But, like, I'm not in a rush, you know? Like, when it's right.
You're still busy right now.
I'll study with him, so I'm just waiting for the right opportunity. So I really want to surround myself with people to help me grow. And I just want to help people. So that's the path that I'll keep on walking down. Yeah.
It's been great to have you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah. I hope I didn't, like, talk too much.
No, it's perfect.
Cool.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Kyle. You guys are great. I'm into this. Follow these guys. These
Oh,
guys.
and to follow you or, like, connect with you online?
Simple_yogini. Yeah, I put out some content sometimes, so whatever. Give me a follow if you want.
Just going with the flow.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.